Hey there, welcome to another installment of the Rocket MSP podcast. I'm Steve Taylor, your host. Today I am joined by several gentlemen from the team over at EasyDMARC. I'm going to start by introducing Mike Anderson. Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for coming here. Mike, I'm going to let you kind of take it away.
Yeah, thanks. So today we're going to talk about DMARC, the need for DMARC in the MSP practice. What is the big rush? MSPs are seeing their customers come to them now pretty much on a daily basis and asking for, DMARC remediation services. Why can't their emails go through? And so MSPs are being tasked more and more with, doing this in the business. And with EasyDMARC, we can show you how to solve for DMARC, but most importantly, how to monetize it. So maybe why don't we start first with kind of what the problem is? Well, phishing attacks have been around for a long time, and DMARC was created to stop phishing attacks, right? And so most phishing attacks start with email, and DMARC was created as a protocol to kind of prevent that by having your SPF aligned, your from address and your to address aligned. And if those are aligned, it's going to be really hard to spoof your email. If they're misaligned, that's where you have the protection policy in that you can reject those emails. But there's also another problem. You see that second line down there, nearly 85% of all emails are landing in spam, right? And the problem is what has recently happened is DMARC policy has been around, the protocol has been around for a dozen or so years. And recently, all of the big ESPs, your Amazons, your Microsofts, your Googles, your Yahoo, AOL, are now starting to actively enforce DMARC policy in their algorithms. And so as an MSP, your customers are seeing their email deliverability go down and down. Well, that's a problem, right? And you as an MSP are supposed to be the IT mechanic, in charge of these things, and so when your customer realizes their entire email marketing campaign has now ended up in spam and they realize they weren't DMARC compliant, what is this DMARC? Many times they come back to the MSP and are like, why haven't you fixed this? Why haven't you taken care of this? Why didn't we know, right? And so this program will help you get ahead of that conversation to hopefully prevent some of those uncomfortable conversations. And implementing DMARC, right? And so if you've ever seen a DMARC report, it comes out in an XML file. And so you can get DMARC reporting on emails that are going out. And when you get those in your inbox, they're, strictly XML query strings. And literally, unless you're Neo from the Matrix, and you can turn that code into a picture like you see on the image here, it's going to be very difficult to see what is going on in your environment. But we've solved for that. Not only we solve for that, we're going to help you monetize that. And so this is kind of what we do as a platform. We're going to help you get all these benefits that you're seeing here. And so really, how does it work? How do you monetize it? Well, you're going to see in the platform that you're going to be able to, see what is misaligned, what is misguided, and use that as a consulting agreement to then get those DMARC policies aligned. It's traditional consulting methodology. And then you're going to be able to add to your cybersecurity stack and fees with this program. So the EasyDMARC program, very MSP centric. Let's look at, some of the things it has. You're going to be able to group all of your users together under companies or organizations so that you can quickly parse the information. You're going to be able to add users in a hierarchy, give them roles so that you can determine what people can see, what people can't see, and be able to organize the information very quickly. Again, very MSP centric. One of the critical pieces that we just spoke about is the monetization, right? All this effort that you're going to put into this, right? You're going to want to be able to get some profitability out of it. So tools like our domain scanner will allow you to look up people's domains, even if you don't have access to their DNS information records. And so if you're seeing scores like this, lots of red, low numbers, you as an MSP really should be thinking dollar signs when you approach these type of conversations, because your customer is actively needing DMARC remediation. So let's take a look at the platform and show you how easy it is to use, and what you can gain by it. Remember, the most important thing to remember today is this platform's very MSP centric. You're going to get one-on-one engineering training, massive training, video repositories if you sign up, an extensive database of how to, and most importantly, an advanced marketing package, so that you not only learn how to use the program, but you learn how to go out and monetize it. And so we've taken a lot of that burden off of your plate for you by providing an extensive marketing package that we'll talk about in just a minute. So let's look at the platform. So let me share from that screen.
I've got a couple questions real quick.
Sure, please, go ahead.
So you mentioned that this is built on SPF and DKIM. That's how DMARC works?
So yeah, so the SPF and DKIM are protocols. It's a two-layered process. So your sender policy framework, SPF, is the from address and the return address. If those two things match up, when somebody replies to your email, it's coming back to you. When those two things are not matched up, it's not necessarily going to a nefarious party. It may be going to Salesforce or HubSpot or a number of things in your domain, but you want to have all of those sources aligned so that you can set your framework, your DMARC security layer above it to a higher level of security. So if those don't match up and you've got everything matched up in your policy framework, and another source suddenly appears that is mismatched, you can decline those emails, right? And so this platform shows you, how to get all of those sources aligned so that you can keep your security policy high. Yeah, DMARC is multiple frameworks. It's SPF, it's DKIM, which are the encryption keys. When an email is sent, it's encrypted. When it hits DNS, it has some decryption keys up there. If those match, that's DKIM matching. Right. And so you get these protocols to match. And if everything's matching, you have your security layer above it. If things don't match, that security layer above it, that DMARC policy will tell the email, we'll just go on through because we're secure, even though it doesn't match. We think it's a new sending source. Or if it doesn't match, we want to automatically quarantine it. Or if it doesn't match, we want that email to be rejected. The crucial issue nowadays is with all of the big email sending providers are now requiring DMARC alignment in their algorithms. So misaligned emails, even if they're legitimate, the big ESPs are automatically trying to put those in spam, right? Your customers are wasting time, money, and effort by having their, legitimate communications, their invoicing, their large contracts, their email marketing. If it's not DMARC compliant, they're trying to dismiss that out of hand into spam.
All right.
Yeah. So what else? Any other questions, Steve?
Not yet. I'm sure there will be.
Okay. So using the platform, again, laid out very MSP centric. When you first set up the platform, you're going to add users to the platform. You'll have an initial user to the platform. You'll be able to invite users. You'll be able to drop down this admin box here. It's not showing on the presentation, but it does show on my PC, and you'll be able to give them, super admin or a general admin or a platform editor role. And then we're going to be adding some viewer roles here very soon. But that will tell the user what they have access to and what they can do and what they can't do. You'll be able to also group the domains together just by type of domains, or grouping the domains under company names, right? So that you can parse the information. A company may have 10 or 20 domains, and you want to just look at that company and give access to that company to a specific user. You can set all this up just like that. Again, the platform is very MSP centric, so that you can quickly manage the business. There is reporting built into this platform. You can set up for reports to go out daily, weekly, monthly, on the intervals you want. And then, of course, alert management so that you can set alerts so that if things change, you'll get notice. We are about to release a new, much more robust alerting system that will include text. Right now it's email. So be on the lookout for that very soon. So using the platform, very simple, very easy. You start off by adding a domain, put in a domain that everybody's heard, whether you like them or not. You can put that in. And so what the platform does is it shows you step by step what to do, how to add the records into your DNS so that you can start the reporting process to get visibility. So this will say, this is how you set up. This is your login to your DNS provider. Find this host name, this TXT record, and then copy and paste this reporting record into that string, right? And you'll do that in your DNS, in this case, Amazon Route 53. For that, you'll set that in the domain. You'll set it, save it. You'll verify it on our end, and then you're literally off and going. So what the platform will do, then as emails go out in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to start seeing email reporting, aggregate reporting under a tab like this. And so this is going to show you everything that's compliant, all the non-compliance, where potential threats are coming from, and then forwarded emails kind of as a courtesy. Not a lot to do with those, but we do show you those.
Okay.
So if you look under the compliant tab, you can drop down, see all the sending sources that are coming from compliant tab. You've got a big, big list. You'll be able to see, lots of things, where it's coming from, the alignment, all of the sending sources, so that you can take a look. As an MSP, this is where you want to get your customers to, right? Because this is where then you can set the highest level of security. Once you know the environment is set, you can set your level of security to very high to reject or quarantine, whatever your policy is. These are passing and compliant, and you've got everything set. Where MSPs are going to make their money is this non-compliant tab, where you'll see all these non-compliant sending sources. And as an MSP, when you see these non-compliant sources, again, you should be thinking dollar signs, right? This is where the consulting methodology comes into, where you can, be able to look at all these sending sources, export this as a report, or get your customer online and say, hey, look, we've got some alignment issues that we need to get aligned. You see, 6 different sending sources under 3 different domains and subdomains that are misaligned. So maybe you write a consulting engagement for 12 hours, right? 2 hours per source to get that aligned. You get it signed, and you're off and going with a new consulting agreement. Remember, DMARC policy enforcement used to be here. Now it is here. You have to get your customers from here to here. There is no option. The big ESPs are enforcing that. So if your customers are not DMARC compliant, they're going to continue to see their delivery rates go down, which is a big problem for their business. Remember, email is the lifeblood of communication of pretty much every business. And so if they can't get their general conversations through contracting, invoicing, and email marketing, again, big problem. Eventually, they're going to come looking to you to figure out, why they're in that situation. And so again, you want to get ahead of these curves. This allows you to do it. But you as an MSP can see all of this information and be able to monetize it. Well, how do I know how to get this SendGrid source aligned? I can see it's failing for SPF. And so, in this, it's going to be able to show you how to get these sources aligned. So we have provided a gear icon for you to take out most of that heavy lifting. Typically, you would have to go to a sending source, call them, look them up, go to their webpage to see if there was some SPF or DKIM alignment information. And in most cases, there are. But instead of having to do all that research, you're going to click on this gear icon. You're going to see these sources aren't configured, and you're going to be able to click on a configuration guide that is going to take you right to a configuration guide. And I don't know why it didn't open it up from here. It didn't show it. but it is showing a configuration guide from the source, right? So let me see if I can show you what it did. It showed, there we go. It showed this, it popped this up, this configuration guide from the source. And so literally as an MSP, what you'll do is follow this step by step. It's going to give you the step-by-step instructions on how to get the SPF and the DKIM aligned for those sources, right? Very important, right? And so your 12-hour engagement that you signed for, I can probably cut that down to 3 or 4 hours. And now you've just made 8 hours of profit. So you can see how to monetize it and the profitability that's built into DMARC services. And again, your customers have to be DMARC compliant moving forward. So let me go. Okay, so that went back to that source. Right, so this is kind of how the platform works. Where you'll live initially early on, you'll see all of these, the sending sources that are compliant, non-compliant, and you also see the threat tabs. Now, these are threats against your customers' domains around the world. Some that are known, these non-compliant tabs, some that are unknown that you can see.
Oh, wow. So it's showing that, and I just want to make sure I understand what I'm seeing here. So obviously that's saying that those are blacklisted.
Yeah, so
But
these are active.
is that something that my client tried to send, or that somebody tried to send to my client?
These are probably nefarious. These are actually nefarious actors around the globe actively trying to spoof your customers' domains from these IP addresses that you're seeing here. And you can see they've already been blacklisted. So it's not like you've got to go out and do something, but in selling, the value of your monthly service, right? You can show your customer this and say, this is why you not only want to pay me to fix it, but why you want to pay me a monthly fee to watch over it. Right, because we need to be aware of these IPs, these actors, these ranges, right? So if these IPs start hitting our firewalls, we can actively block them. But this is going to give you a picture of what's going on overall across the globe. The big DNS services like OpenDNS and some of those other big ones, they're actively blocking these IPs as they're coming up right around the world, and on behalf of everybody, not just your customers, but you can see. There are active threats going on around the globe, and you need to be, as an MSP, aware of these, right? So that you can always be vigilant, right? And it's why your customers pay you, a monthly Overwatch fee so that you know what's going on at all times in the environment, right? So we show you that as a courtesy, again, so that you can remain vigilant, charge MRR fees. And then we also have a forwarded report. And again, not much to do on these. These are just emails that landed in the recipient's box and that were then forwarded. A lot of times marketing has, or finance, they all have aliases that are forwarded, onto somewhere else. So we'll show you the reporting of this. So the platform has a bunch of MSP-centric features. And we won't wear you out today going through every single one, but we'll touch on some of the highlights. The Managed DMARC. This will allow you to set up a connector to the DNS once you set this up in the DNS and move between DMARC policy very quickly on any specific domain. You'll drop down whatever domain that you're going to use. And you'll be able to move in and out of policy very quickly. And for MSPs, this is very important because, a lot of times, MSPs, you got a lot of things going on. The phone's ringing, fix this, fix that. And then somebody says, hey, we're releasing a new campaign Monday morning. And it's, 5:30 on Friday night. And you're like, we haven't had time to validate it. I can just move in and out of, DMARC policy from reject to none so that I can let that customer's emails go out. And then after a day or so, go back to those aggregate reports that we saw at the beginning, see what's aligned, see what's misaligned, get everything realigned, and then quickly move from my policies back to the highest level of security. And as an MSP, again, when you have a lot of things going on, this is very important. This is one of our most popular features specifically for MSPs. The EasySPF feature, this is a dynamic SPF flattening tool. So your viewers, if anybody knows specifically about SPF lookups, if you have more than 10 lookups on a domain, SPF will automatically fail. And so this is a way to flatten that process from domain lookups to IP addresses so that you can get past that. Again, a very important feature and a very popular feature for MSPs as you're managing domain lookups and wanting to keep everything DMARC compliant.
That's actually really cool because, like you said, there's a limit of 10. And with all the different platforms that we're using these days, heck, even the MSP, we've got Autotask, we've got Growably or whatever you're using for your email marketing, and like just all these different platforms that you have to like, oh, let's add it so we can send from our domain instead of from theirs, right? And the more and more things that we set up to be able to send email as us, we've got to add SPF, and hopefully you're also adding DKIM records as well. And you're right, there's a limit, and some MSPs don't even know that there's a limit.
Yeah, very popular feature. A lot of MSPs I've talked to, the ones that get it, some people have never come across that, but you want to be prepared for when you do, because this is the way to solve for that too many lookups problem for sure. But again, very popular feature with our MSPs, the ones that are doing, big remediation services with DMARC. And DMARC is a massively hot market right now. It's just white hot. Because of the enforcement, your customers are seeing their deliverability go down. So they're increasingly coming to the MSPs, and the MSPs that we talk to every single day are telling us, hey, we're being flooded with calls. We got to get this DMARC thing solved. And so, this will help with your tool set.
That's great. Now, I got to say, I know you're probably going to go down the list, but there's another thing that I'm really interested in, and it's BIMI.
Yeah, so BIMI is the new badging system for emails, and so we have a way to host BIMI in the platform.
Okay.
Let me go here to managed BIMI, and so BIMI is like, for example, when you get a new job and you do your background check, that's equivalent to DMARC, right? But when you walk in the office the first day, the security guard goes, stop, let me see your badge. And you flash your badge and it has your likeness on it. That is what BIMI is. So BIMI is, you see our logo over there. BIMI is the new logo badging system that it lands in your inbox. So you may have had your own personal email boxes. You see an email from Walmart or Coca-Cola or somebody, and it has their badge on it. So what that's signifying is this email belongs. It has been certified that this is from Coca-Cola. This is their logo. It is secured. The DMARC policy has been set to P = reject, the highest level of security. And this email badge is a signet that this email is secured and it belongs in your inbox. And so BIMI is the new badging process for emails. And so we do BIMI hosting in the platform, and there's some additional fees associated with that. And there's a process that the customer has to go through. They have to get a copyright of their logo and then get a verified MARC certificate and then be able to set their policy to P = reject. And once you combine all of those things, then we can host this in our platform so that when the customer's emails go out, it will have the logo attached to it.
I wondered if we had to go through the whole rigmarole if you do managed BIMI for us. So it sounds like the answer is yes. So let's talk about that for a minute, because I want to make sure people understand what you're saying. So we have to actually file with like the U.S. Trademark Office.
That is correct. And we have a step-by-step process that I can send out to any of your users and any of your prospects and any customers that will tell you, here's the process step by step. And then it will give you a link to the trademark registration offices around the world so that you can kind of see who those are. And of course, the United States is the trademark registration, U.S. Patent Office, so that you register your trademarks, yes.
Perfect. And then once that's done, we have to do, once we get the trademark, then we are able to start hosting it with you. We have to pay you an extra fee for the BIMI hosting.
Right. First, what you have to do is once you get that trademark, then you got to get a verified MARC certificate. And so
that's right.
With Entrust or a number of people who provide those certificates, we can help you navigate that process, and we will indeed. If you sign up for our BIMI hosting services, we will, once you've got that trademark, we will help go get that VMC for you, and there's a cost associated with it to do that, and then host it in our platform.
So do you happen to know, and ballpark numbers are okay, do you happen to know what it costs for a company to file for the trademark?
I don't know what trademark fees are, and to go get.
Obviously, attorney fees could be involved as well, but some people might try and file on their own because they're crazy.
Yeah, it's you're going to want to follow the process, but there are, you go to the trademark registration website, and it's going to tell you what to do. And then if there's some dispute, yeah, you definitely may have to get attorneys involved. But hopefully no one's going to dispute your logo, and so you'll be able to sail through that process. Now that process, we know how things move through giant bureaucracies. That's not an instant process. So don't be expecting to get your badge, very quickly, or your certificates and copyrights very quickly. That can be a 6 to 9 month process. But once you get all that and get past all that, the key is then all of your emails going out are going to be branded and badged with your logo on it. It's it's starting to be an elevated status symbol. And I would think within a few years, maybe 3 to 5 years, this is going to be, a must for emails coming across, because again, it signifies this email belongs, it's been checked, it is certified, and it is secure. And people are going to want to see that more and more. Yeah, so all great questions. The platform, has reputation monitoring built into it. So, you can put in IP addresses or domain addresses, and if they get blacklisted anywhere in the world, we're connected to all these listing sites. You can just click on it and see where it's blacklisted, reach out, for the removal process. Hopefully it's been done in error, but again, this is the domain reputation and Overwatch platform for DMARC and reputation, so that you as an MSP can always be aware of what's going on with your customers' IPs and domains, and be on Overwatch for anything that looks like it doesn't belong. The platform also has tons of tools built into it, so you can check DMARC records, SPF records, all very quickly, generate those records, and be able to see this. The domain scanner, very popular feature in the platform. Now, this is where we talk about, how to monetize the system. So we can put, any, domain in here, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Steve, but we could check your domain if you wanted to and see what it looks like.
Yeah, go for it.
What is your domain?
rocketmsp.io.
MSP.io. And so this is a good conversation starter for an MSP, whether you have access to the domain or not. Maybe you're doing endpoint protection or backup and recovery. This will allow you to expand that conversation, right? So that you can say, hey, what are you doing for DMARC? Again, DMARC compliance was here. Now it's being enforced up here. You have to get from here to here. There is no options, or your email deliverability is just going to go down and down. Let's just take a look and see what you see. And so remember when I started the conversation early on through the slides, right? The more red you see and the lower scores you see, again, as an MSP, you should be thinking $signs. Now, Steve, you look like you're right in the middle. So not really, lots of things to worry about. You're probably going to need to set your policy up from none to a little bit higher level, and that will give you the green on your DMARC policy. It just is in caution mode because it's none right now. But again, great way to sell the platform, great way to monetize it. And if you sign up with us, part of the Rocket MSP special is you're going to get an entire training package, and that includes all the training videos, all the wiki databases. You're going to get support. You'll be able to access support here with a chat feature. You'll be able to access support through email, support at EasyDMARC.com, as well as one-on-one engineering training, so that once you've kind of gotten up and on the platform and are using it and know how to use it. Any little lingering questions, you can get on with an actual engineer that can say, this is how you tune it, this is how you fix it. And so we really train you up on how to use the platform so that, you're pretty much going to be, a high level DMARC, expert, once you're done. But as part of the package, we also give you an advanced marketing package, and that's going to include press releases that you're in the partner ecosystem. It's going to give you email marketing support, social media support. It's going to give you an engineer if you want to do a webinar like this to your customers and prospects to show the value of DMARC and your DMARC practice. We'll have an engineer on the call so that if anything gets a little too technical, we can assist you in that, as well as, dozens and dozens of email marketing documents so that you can pull down, you can put your logo on it, send to your customer, hey, this is why you need, DMARC services, right? Here's the value, don't get spoofed, but your deliverability. And it has little stories and anecdotes that, Bob didn't have DMARC. Bob got ripped off. Don't be Bob, right? So again, we take a lot of the complexity of the marketing out of the equation for you and allow you to just learn how to use the platform and then start monetizing it right away. So that's pretty much the program. There's a few more things that we can check. There's a phishing URL link checker in here. So if your customer gets a suspicious email, they can send you the email. You can copy the link, put it in here. We'll check it for you without risk to your organization or to your customers, but that's built in. Again, any way to check anything suspicious, monitor domains, get all of your reporting, for your current domains as they relate to DMARC compliance, so that you can, not only fix it, but also monetize it. So what questions do your users have, or do you have, Steve?
Let's see. Someone is snacking down on some email security. So I don't see any questions yet. Guys, if you've got questions about how DMARC works, how EasyDMARC works, or maybe some of the features you've seen, please feel free to ask. I know I have questions about pricing. How's your pricing work for MSPs?
Yeah, so great question. So we've made the pricing really easy, and so we have some packages that you can see online. They're geared towards just individual users or large enterprises. The MSP package, very, very efficient. So it really gives you pretty much the entire platform that you've seen here today, and it's $5 per sending domain, right? So there is a minimum of 20 domains. So it's $100 a month to get started. It's a month-to-month agreement, so you're not locked in. The good thing about it is we don't charge for non-sending agreements. So you could put, all the domains that you want in here, put them in what we call our parked program, our non-sending program, and then put a DMARC policy on here and be able to overwatch them, right? We don't charge for non-sending domains. So it's $5 per sending domain, minimum 20 domains to get started. Very simple. And the program comes with all of the training that we mentioned and all of the marketing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are you able to give us a preview of some of the marketing stuff that's available?
I sure can. Just one second.
No problem. I love that you added CNN.com.
I mean, it's recognizable. Whether you love them or hate them, it's just recognizable. So tons of information as it relates to. Whoa. I was on your string.
Well, that's funny.
So here's a repository that you can see for training videos. Here is the marketing content, and again, you'll interface with our marketing team to access this, to access the press releases. But for example, reputation, identity. Identity crisis, again, just little stories. Did you ever see that movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He was
Sure did. I
Frank.
love Frank's story.
Everybody knows that story. And so I weave that story into, creating a false ID is kind of what, when people try to spoof a domain, they're trying to create a false ID. So, how did Frank do it? He created fake IDs and he became one of the greatest forgers of all times. And so little stories and anecdotes like this that you can, again, pull it down, put your logo here, send to your customers little stories about why you need to get DMARC compliant, and we're the MSP to do that. Now remember, customers are moving to DMARC compliance as fast as humanly possible. So your MSPs, you don't want to get left out, right? Right now, it's literally a DMARC gold rush out there. Customers are going as fast as they can to DMARC compliance. So again, tons of marketing information to help you guys get set up.
Okay, great. So you said $5 per sending domain, 20 domain minimum, marketing and sales resources available,
and the training, and your organization, your MSPs are going to get additional training as part of the platform.
That's right. Yeah, members of Rocket MSP will get access to 3 training sessions.
That's correct. Yeah. So you're going to get additional training. And, once you've learned the platform and learned, where the data is coming from, how to analyze it and turn it into a marketable situation where you can create consulting opportunities or increase your MRR, whatever your sales methodology is to put money into the business. We'll teach you how to do it.
Perfect. Well, I gotta say, I like your platform. I'm using a different DMARC tool, and it's okay. And the reason I say it's okay is because I believe that not all DMARC platforms are created the same. And the biggest reason, and you know what, let me see if I can log in. Maybe I'll be bold and show you what I see on my platform, as long as it's not anything crazy. Because I think that if I show you guys what I see, it'll make a lot more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, again, when I do these kind of conversations, we typically don't get a lot of questions. It's literally called EasyDMARC for a reason, right? And this is where we live. This is not some giant Oracle e-business platform with lots of tie-ins. This is eMARC, visibility, command, and control of all your customer sending domains. Quickly gain that visibility of, what's compliant, what's non-compliant, and how to take action.
So here's my screen, okay? So this is what I see when I log into DMARC report. Obviously, I haven't sent too many emails lately. And I feel like that's it. Now that's the boring version. If I look at my aggregate report, gosh, how do I get in there? Oh, I got to click on this where it says compliant. So when I open some of this stuff up, see they're all listed as G Suite Google. It used to be that I had a bunch of them in here where it wasn't categorized as something. Now they've bundled them all up. But it used to be that I just had this big ugly list of IPs, and honestly, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and this is typically where we win the business against just basic reports and entry level platforms like you see here. Ours is much more visual, lots of data points where you can visually see what's going on to be able to then quickly take action, see where your misalignment is, and this is typically where we are going to win in these type of environments. Much more well-rounded, very easy to use, very easy to understand, very intuitive, and really what your MSPs are looking for. Complexities within MSPs slow a business down, so we want to take all of that out. quickly show you what you need to see. You know, you're landing in, you know, 2 or 3 of those screens most of the time. You know, what's compliant, what's non-compliant, how to fix it. We give you those gear icons right here to show you how to fix all of the non-compliance, right? Saving you a lot of time. So even if you write a 12-hour engagement, hopefully, you know, we reduce that down to, you know, 4 or 5 hours, and the rest of it's profit. Consulting has profitability built into it anyway. But if you can just keep those extra hours, man, that just goes right to the bottom line. So that's the way our platform's built. Easy to read, easy to use, understand.
Very cool.
Yeah. So thanks for that.
I appreciate Mike, Elcho, Nishan. I really appreciate you guys hopping on here with me and showing off your platform, explaining how DMARC works a little bit, demystifying that for all of us. I wish BIMI was a little more attainable for the average Joe.
Yeah, it's got a ways to go, but there are some, you know, you understand some of the complexities, and really navigating the complexities is one of the biggest challenges. But once you set those expectations, okay, here's what needs to take place. Here's the time that it's going to take, right? It's not an instant process. You're going to need to take a few steps before you can get that BIMI badging. Once you understand that, then you can navigate the process, and we can certainly help you do that.
Very good.
Yeah, and so if anybody needs to reach out to us, it's Mike at EasyDMARC.com. Very simple to remember. I should have had a slide up with my face and logo on there, but please pass my information along. Your users are going to get an extra benefit if they sign up for the platform. And again, we'll get them all trained up and make sure they have that marketing platform to monetize it most of all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you around. I don't know how you can add more features to your platform because it's such a niche product, right? But if you do, if more email security stuff comes out, definitely reach out, Mike.
Yeah, we're going to be adding some reporting under the MTA and TLS. We're going to have some new features come out. That we're always improving the product and taking recommendations. So if your users do sign up with us, we listen to what they're asking, what they need, and we do make a list of those features. But yeah, I'll be in contact with you, and as things come up, we'll make sure we stay in touch.
Perfect. Take care, everybody.
All right.